Para su información, jinetes, el tiempo acordado de este recorrido 83 segundos, la distancia 515 y la cadencia 375. 83 segundos el tiempo concedido.
partnerships. Jump-off format, so any tie for first place will go to a jump-off against the clock. I'm Adam Cromerty, Anna Prero sitting alongside me. Anna, we've seen some great sport over the weekend, and we've got some good riders here. And it's great to have so many people watching on Facebook and on YouTube as well. And if you want to get involved with the conversation, don't forget you can do that. Just pop your question, your comment in the box below. I'll keep an eye on those as we head through the competition. Let me know where you're watching from. And again, you know, if you've got any questions about the sport, about the venue, about the competition, then you can pop them in the comments box below as well. But plenty of people logging in already. And don't forget, if you're watching on Facebook, you can hit that share button as well. Share it to your friends, share it to any equestrian groups that you're involved with. But the stage is set. We are ready to get underway. As I said, about 43 partnerships coming forwards here. And hopefully we'll see an exciting jump off as we get towards the end. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, definitely. Misty Cassar is going to be getting us underway. Callis 13 representing the USA. Misty spent most of her life on the West Coast, but now actually has moved to Mexico, making this our home base. And our course designer is Marina Azevedo. Just as Misty gets on, we'll take a quick look at the track and what they're going to be faced with. And we're going to be starting over a vertical. This is fence number 1 she's coming to now. Left-handed, a little bit of a bending line as we come down towards this oxer on the long side. And a bit of a kind of loose rollback turn here. Coming down towards the vertical at fence number 3. And we've got a related distance as she lands. I walked this at a nice kind of even 5 strides down towards the oxer at 4. Right-handed round this corner. Verticals fence number 5. And then you're on 7 strides and you come to a double combination. So it's oxer in, takes that down, 1 non-jumping stride, then out over the vertical at 6B. Rolls back round the corner. This is quite a committed line. You come to this oxer at fence number 7. See Misty just taking a check as she sets up for the triple combination. Takes the first part and the second part down, so we sit on 12 faults at the moment. That's a line that we're going to keep an eye on, I think. Oxer up off the corner is fence number 9. Then left-handed again, rolls back round. Vertical at 10. Round past the in-gate as we come down towards the oxer. Oh, a little bit of an issue there. Yeah, and she's going to retire, so we'll get you the final 2 fences in our tour when we get our next one on track. But that was a shame there for Misty. Does decide to retire today. Yeah, finished top 3 in the World Cup, which was great to see. But quite, you know, just not her day. But, you know, plenty others waiting in the wing. And John Perez is going to be next with a 16-year-old stallion by Argentinius. He was here in Puebla with us last week. 7th in the Grand Prix in Lima back in November. And we've seen him at Spruce Meadows as well with this horse. Very experienced horse, experienced partnership here, John Perez and Desperado DN. John likes this venue. He had some good results here last week. John making a good start on this course. Just make a bit of a correction there. That's a real delicate plank. Whoa, a little bit unexpected from that partnership. He's going to give his signal to retire as well. That really was a surprise, but you know, he knows that horse so well. They've been together a long time and obviously just not quite giving him the feeling that he was expecting today. So he elects to retire. Hi to Maria, who's watching in Poland. She's watching on Facebook Live. Anna is watching in Maine. NC Rivers there in Maine. Who else? We've got Ann Warner, Sierra Osborne, all watching on Facebook Live. Don't forget, hit that share button if you are watching on Facebook. Tag your friends as well. Take a quick look at the YouTube chat in just a sec, but first let's get an Accio Marin underway here. Misquidam PS is our next to go here in this 150 jump-off competition. It's a partnership who were second in a 2-star speed competition back in November. And a couple of 2-star classes back-to-back, actually, in that same month. Long way home from there. If you do have that early rail, I suppose you can try and be a fast 4 fault round and hope that that's going to be good enough to pick up some prize money today. You're still looking for that first one to complete this course today. You know, having walked it, I don't think it's particularly too challenging or too tough or anything. I think, you know, it's just a little bit of unlucky rides from our first two. Time allowed set at 83 seconds in this one. A couple down. And looks like he might be about to call it a day. Yeah. It's been the class of we're going to have to jump off our retired riders to get a result in this one. 3 gone, 3 retired here in this first round. Oh, okay. Our first, yeah, our first to make it home. Yeah, he's been showing this horse for about 2 and a bit years. We've seen them jump quite a few internationals together, also having that early rail. But I saw him at Spruce Meadows in July, and he was top 10 in one of the 5 stars there. Jumped well in Guadalajara back in September. Yeah, I think he's retired as well. I don't know if they've all been comparing notes today and they thought, we'll just jump a few fences and then... But, you know, I think on this final day of the show, it's been 2 weeks to jump in here, depending on the horses. And, you know, this one's got so much experience. He knew he was out of contention. There wasn't really any benefit to just keep going around for the sake of it. We've got to appreciate the curly mane of that horse as well. It's obviously had his braids out. So 4 gone and 4 retired. I don't think I've ever said that before. I promise you this course is not too tough. And we are going to see a jump off. Jaime Azcárraga coming forward next with Eyecatcher JB. Jaime, a 4-time Olympian, all the way back to 1984 in Los Angeles. Chin Chin, one of his Olympic horses, that was always a crowd favourite. And this one's not done too much internationally in the past year, but great to see them, you know, back in tip-top shape, up to the top of the sport again. Yeah, for sure. This whole family involved with the sport.
We saw Gonzalo competing this weekend. With this horse, he has a really high percentage of clear rounds. like 60% and the international competitions.
Yeah, he's making a good job of it out there. Oh, just as I say that. You know, if he can finish on 4 at the moment, he will go to the top of our leaderboard. This is our final line down here, that Oxer-related distance down towards the vertical. And then we finish on that Oxer at 13. For jumping, couple of time faults in there as well. 84.66, time allowed of 83 seconds. So total 6 there for Jaime Escaraga, an eye-catcher for the home nation of Mexico. Just taking a quick look over at YouTube. Root Racers here, regular viewer. The old brain there says, love Spruce Meadows. I do too, love being there throughout the summer. Juan Jose Zendejas next to go. So we've got one completed the course now. But we're still looking for that first clear, and this is a horse that's been shown by Nicolas Pizarro, Nicolas Toro as well. But Juan's had the horse since about March last year. He's put in some good performances already.
Well, they finished 3rd on the 145 open class on Friday, I think.
They set a rail already. Had that first one down. It's going to be an interesting competition today. I thought we may have seen a clear already, having a look at, you know, the talent at the top of the start list. But he might just be riding forwards now, thinking of, you know, trying to be a fast 4 fault when we get towards the business end.
Well, I wasn't expecting Jaime Escaraga to have 2 points, 2 time faults. So
yeah,
anything could happen today.
Anything could happen. Attack there. This horse has got all the ingredients. Really nice type. A little bit fidgety in his mouth, but Jose does a great job. Let's keep an eye on that time as well, 83 seconds. It's going to pick up a time.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Well, that looked like it could have been nasty, but I think both horse and rider got away unscathed. Juan Jose back up on his feet, and we'll get the horse safely caught. But yeah, we've seen some real unexpected results so far. This is a competition, if you're watching at home, you don't want to go away from.
Yes, join us. Stay. Let's see what happens with the next ones. 4 retired. 1 eliminated.
Hi to Ollie that's watching on YouTube Live. Also, we got Vernarmi. Again, I hope I got your name right there. He says good luck to all the competitors. Monique's watching in Boulder, Colorado. The old grey mare says Amsterdam this morning was great with Legacy and Daniel Coyle. They're on such great form, that pair. They won another World Cup the week before, and he was up late last night, Daniel Coyle. I was doing a Grand Prix last night in Ocala, Florida, and one of Daniel's horses that he's ridden before that's owned by Ariel Grange was jumping, and he was up sending me WhatsApps from Amsterdam. But yeah, he had a great round this morning. But Ollie's watching from the Netherlands. We've got the Round Fox in Denmark. Rain's watching from Australia. Good to have you with us. And we're off to Great Britain next. Jessica Mendoza. Chuck Bass is going to be our next one. She put in a really good performance yesterday in the Longines FEI Jumping World Cup. This is a horse that she started showing in October last year. They were 5th in the Welcome at Fort Worth back in December. Saw them in Toronto at the Royal Winter Fair. Picked up another top 6 finish in 4-star competition. It's a horse that Jacob Helfstrom was competing over in the Netherlands before Jess took over the ride. Although Jess represents Great Britain, she's based in Florida these days. She's been campaigning at the Winter Equestrian Festival down there. Her mum Sarah's always been a great supporter, and I'm sure she'll probably be watching on as well. Very amazing to get our first clear. A rider who's never been to Puebla before, it's her first visit. It's great the venue's starting to attract more and more different riders, different names, different nationalities.
And we are really glad to welcome everybody here in Mexico. Well,
One thing we always say, the crowds here are right behind every single rider. It doesn't matter where you're from. Jess doing a good job today. She's having to ride a little bit in places. Just make these tiny corrections to get things organized. She's very reactive. She's got good natural feel. This could be our first clear. I'm going to keep oh, the time's actually now been adjusted to 86 seconds. So she's going to be absolutely fine, 83.76. There's our first clear. And I think that was wise for the ground jury, along with our course designer, to extend that time from 83 to 86. Just makes it a little bit more achievable. And that was a well-deserved clear. She rode every single stride out there. And she gives us clear round number 1. So there we go, it's game on. Now we look for that second clear to guarantee us a jump off. Hi to Shelley Graves watching in South Africa. Radio's in the Netherlands. So is Haina Karasia. Hope I got that right. But yeah, don't forget, if you're watching online, send us a message on YouTube or on Facebook, or if you want to search for Adam Cromarty on Instagram, you can send me a message on there as well. Right, let's get our next one underway.
we have José Antonio Chedraui Eguía riding Concord. This is quite a new combination, but well, José Antonio, it's a really good rider. He's he was part of the Mexican team at the end of the year. He went with the team to Barcelona, and he also went to the Pan American Games. So, but I think he's been working with this horse for a couple of months.
Yeah, it's quite a new one for him. I think last November was the first time we saw him jump it. Previously, before he took over the reins, it had been shown in Mexico for a few years, but came from the Netherlands. I think it was about 2019 or 2020. With his previous rider, who was Javier Fernandez, the horse had some wins at 2-star level in Guadalajara. It was last summer. It's amazing, after the start we saw with eliminations and retirals, and then we see two clears back to back. 85.22. You can see that time allowed still very much part of the test at 86 seconds, even though it's been extended to that. There we go, two clears we have. Jump off guaranteed. One for Mexico, one for Great Britain.
Great.
Dunja's watching from Croatia. Round Fox says 1919, yeah. Can you imagine the age? I mean, that'd be a very well-produced horse if it was 1919. Antonio Maurer and Elisa BGX is next for Mexico. This is a horse we've seen compete a lot here in Mexico with a variety of riders. Antonio's another of the Olympians that we see here. But 7 FEI wins their season together. And we've seen this horse ridden by Matt Sampson, a rider from Great Britain. They were competing at places like Spruce Meadows and Thunderbird over on the Spanish circuit as well.
Well, Antonio Maurer and Elisa BJX won last week on the two-star competition and finished third on the 140 open class on Wednesday.
So he's on form, but has that rail and retires.
Oh my God.
So, and I think we are going to see a lot of that. You know, it's the final day of a 2-week run here. Horses are starting to get a little bit tired now. And, you know, this horse needs no kind of, you know, extra time in the ring. It doesn't need the mileage. So as soon as you're out of contention.
Well, and also I would like to add that we are starting the season, but we already have a huge calendar coming up. You know, like in 2 weeks we're having Otomi, and then we're going to Jalapa. So we have important...
There's a lot coming up.
Yep, a lot coming up.
Lovely Woman comes next. And another rider from Mexico. Jesus Franco Orantes. This is a horse that started shown internationally in March last year. Very quickly starting to get some good placings, and he's been around. You know, we saw him at Thunderbird in Canada. He was top 6 in the 2-star there. Went to Spruce Meadows, jumped the 2 stars there, and he had some good placings with another one of his horses at Spruce over the summertime as well. So he's just having to keep that contact, trying to maintain that rhythm. Horse was fighting a little bit coming down that line, and then a bit of an issue as he landed. So sits on the 8 at the minute. You see the refusal, obviously, and the rail's coming out the cup, so he's going to get 4 faults for the refusal. The ring crew will jump into action there. They'll get it rebuilt. He's going to get 6 seconds added into the time as well, so he's going to be guaranteed time faults. So either he'll wait and he'll continue on once it's rebuilt, or he'll have a bit of a courtesy fence, which is what he's electing to do, and then retire. So still staying on just the 2 clears at the moment. Hi to Bev, who's watching in California, sir, in Mexico. Brett's watching in Ocala, Florida. Retha in South Africa. Callie's watching in South Wales. Celeste from Australia. Sinead's in Ireland and West Cork. Thomas Foley with us. Good to have you with us, Thomas. Christina from Wales and Dell from Amarillo in Texas. They're all watching on Facebook Live. If you're on there, let us know where you're watching from. Any questions or comments, stick them in the box below. And don't forget to hit share, let all your friends know they can enjoy the action here from Puebla. Nicolas Pizarro is next to go. Mamachita. He's a real talent, this man. You've seen him in the Olympics, the Pan American Games.
It's our national star right now.
I think he's 29th in the Longines rankings at the moment.
And it's the first time in the history that happens. We have never had a rider in that position before.
And he's been building and building.
Yes, he had a great year in the 2023.
Yeah, we've seen him have some good 5-star wins. You know, Desert Horse Park in California was there for the Major League. Had a 5-star win there. This is a horse with a lot of blood, a lot of power. Nice and light through the front end. He's just making this look very smooth all the way around. For those that haven't had issues, you can see actually just how straightforward this course is today. 1:65 inside the original time allowed, interestingly. It goes clear with Mamachita. I think it was still right to extend the time because, you know, our course designer's got to build for the whole competition, not the one that's the highest ranked in Mexico in the world rankings.
Yes, I think it was a good decision too. But well, we have 3 to the jump off already. 2 Mexicans and Jessica Mendoza from England.
Hi to Maggie, who's watching in the Netherlands. Sally says, greetings from Austria. Marge Littleboy joining us, Jazzy J in New York. The name like Jazzy J, you can only be from New York, let's face it. Patricio Pascal is with us now, Seringat, another experienced partnership. They were 4th in the 2-star speed last November. Successful tour in the US over the summertime with 3 top finishes in Traverse City, and we saw them in Canada at Thunderbird and at Spruce Meadows.
Whoa.
To really ride down that distance there. A very tall upper body, that really controls it, has good core strength. See, this horse goes with his tongue stuck out sometimes. Again, just having to take little checks around that corner.
One more.
He's going to be added to our good list. Yeah, nicely done.
And the time?
82.19, so safely inside. Patricio Pascal will come back with Seringat into that jump off against the clock a little bit later on. Hi to Freya, who's watching on YouTube in Denmark. Marge says, I hope he caught up on some sleep. Yeah, for those that were with us the other day, you remember the journey on the way here. I think it took about 36 hours. And I did a little video on Instagram, if you want to see that, about the journey, kind of documenting my journey to Puebla. So you can find that on Instagram. Just search for Adam Cromarty on there. Right, let's get our next one on track. We're going to have a good jump off. We've got 4 heading through already. Nico Gamboa is next. NKH Vittorio S. He's a young rider, 23 years of age. He's competed at the Pan American Games with another horse, one called Mr. Darcy. But he started showing this horse at the Las Vegas National at the end of last year, then went on to Fort Worth. And when he went there, finished 2nd in the 2 phase and 5th in the qualifier for the World Cup just on Thursday. He's a good rider, this one.
Well, Nicolas is starting to ride here in Mexico. I think it's, you know, very attractive for riders from Central and South America because we have a lot of high-level classes.
Yeah.
Like this year, I think we're going to have 9 5-stars competitions during the year. So
yeah, there's plenty to do.
Yeah.
And if we're being honest, it's also cheaper here than it is in the US. So I think it is very attractive.
Well, the Mexican Federation and the organizing committees are doing a great job making more competitions.
I think that's paying off when you think about, you know, Nico now being in a different Nico, now being in the, you know, within the top 30 now. But this guy really is a young talent, 79.45, safely home inside. Up to 5 clears we go. Hi to Laurel, who's watching on YouTube from Nebraska. Callie's in New South Wales in the UK saying, one day I hope to jump to this level. Hopefully we see you jump here in Mexico. Shailene's watching in South Africa. Piper says, can't go anywhere without an East Coast Scottish accent commentating. She's from St Andrews. Yeah, I'm from Edinburgh originally. Now I live in England, but I get back to Scotland as often as I can. My parents are still there. I spend a lot of time over here as well. Right, Alejandro Mills on track. Bretzel de Marias for Mexico. Home nation well represented here. He was 4th in the Grand Prix here last week. It's a horse that came from France originally. Alejandro's had the ride for about a year and a half.
The plank came down, now 4 points. We're not gonna see him on the jump off. Let's see if he can make a faster 4.
At the moment, our fastest 4 fault rounds, 84.66. There's 28 left to come in the first round. But you just don't know at this stage if a fast 4 faulter is going to get some prize money. So it's definitely worth just keeping your leg on, keep moving forward. It's going to be the fastest 4 if he stays clear over this, and he does, so 81.72. It's going to take him into 6th place at the moment. Fastest of the 4 fault rounds. And 5 clears at the moment as well. Taking a quick look at YouTube again, Heather Harris is watching in snowy Colorado, Courtney Lang in BC, Canada. Bet it's snowy in BC as well. Ayman's watching in India. But yeah, we've got people from all over the world, and it's great to have you all with us, taking in the sport from Puebla in Mexico. Bernardo Navalian is next. French Lover, name of this one.
Bernardo Navalian rides for Chile, and he's been doing a good job, like last week, this week, and closing the last year too. He's known like a quite fast rider, so let's see what happens with the time here.
Yeah, he's certainly not wasting any time. He's taking all the economic routes around there. Yeah, he was 2nd in the speed competition here last week, and it's a horse's first international show in Puebla. This is a horse that's new to Mexico, came over from France. Marie Del Monte brought this horse through the young horse competitions up to 2-star level. The horse kind of suits his way of riding, you know, it's quite a forward active type.
Oh, too bad.
So close to home as well. But it is going to have to be the 4, 80.41. Fastest 4 fault round changes, so that now becomes Bernardo. And he heads into 6th place. As we get down to the final 25 left to see here in this first round. Hi to Betty Dunbar watching from Uxbridge, Ontario. That it's snowing a little bit there. Well, here I'm sure it's about, I don't know, 25 degrees Celsius or something. It's a very nice day here, Betty. You should have come. To Marge, who's watching in Western New York on the site of the old Walnut Hill driving competitions. And while Gonzalez de Frey comes forward next to go. Tilas, a combination that were 2nd in the Grand Prix here last weekend, 8th in the Welcome. And Wells had the ride of this horse for about 4 years now. Some good finishes in the speed competitions back in November. They're a talented young rider. Ball gets in deep. Recovers nicely.
I had a chance to talk to him on Friday. He's a very disciplined rider, and he tried to get be focused on what he's doing. Like, he walks the course very concentrated. Like, yeah, it's a very dedicated rider. And well, Martial is his second horse. Hortensia is the one, but he already said that Hortensia is already 17.
Yeah.
And he's about thinking to retire her.
Okay. So now kind of producing this one up. Just
Yep.
going to step in there. That was a really nice clear there from Manuel González de Frey.
And the time is really good.
Yeah, 80.12.
Pista limpia para el mexicano Manuel González Dufrán y Martialis, número 6, Manuel.
Yeah, we've got 6 clears now.
En la pista tenemos
4 of them within the original time allowed of 83 seconds. But Antonio Chedraui, Jessica Mendoza and me are so glad that they changed the time, because they're now obviously within there and coming back for the jump off. Right, Nicola Heinross next to go then. Brand new ride for Nicolai. Been shown by Mark Blumen and Denise Wilson-Gallagher in the US. New to Mexico, but we've seen this horse, you know, in the competitions in Spain and Belgium, Canada, USA. So the horse certainly brings some experience. Piper says the scope of these horses is just incredible. I'd give anything for a ride on one of them, particularly Scott Brashy's Ursula. Yeah, we've got some amazing horses here. And over the years, Mexico's just been bringing more and more horsepower in.
And the riders are developing better horses. Uy.
And very smooth, very forward. Oh, to ride a little bit through there. Just a little bit flat to the last. So we're going to finish on 8 faults, 80.33 and 8 there for Nicola Heinross. Or Denmark. Ajitsi finishes on the 8.
Entra la pista de México, Luis Alejandro Plasencia, que monta Jumpstar SIH.
Hi to Gail Green, who says, greetings from a very warm South Africa. That's an absolute scorcher here in Puebla today. Luis Alejandro Plasencia's next Jumpstar. He showed here last week, he was 6 in the meter 40. Second in the 2-star welcome in Guadalajara last summer, and we've seen him have wins at Spruce Meadows back in June at 2-star level. He's really taking his time down that line. We're slowly edging towards the halfway stage here in the first round. Already on the 6 clears if you've just joined us. Time allowed 86 seconds. That's where we're up to at the moment. He's had some nice horses over the years. Very gymnastic through there. Ah. It's a shame. The 4-fault round still very much in the prize money at the moment. We'll see if that stays true all the way through to the end, but he's 83.63 in 4 faults, going to take him into 9th place at the moment. Very expensive rail for him today. Finishes up on the 4 faults.
En la pista número 21, representando a México, tenemos a Arturo Parada Vallejo con trabajo. Juan José Cerdegas de Imaginaria, después de Juan José. Un receso.
Our next one already with us and about to be underway here. Don't forget, if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, though, you can get involved with the conversation. Let me know where you're watching from. Any questions, any comments, stick them in that box below. And we'll get Arturo Parada Vallejo underway with Bacot. Combination that finished 3rd here last year in the World Cup qualifier. He's got a real variety of great horses to show at the moment. Some at the 5-star level, others at 2-star. Some nice younger horses coming through the grades as well. This one's a 13-year-old gelding by Lavelion, out of a Jurado mare.
Well, Arturo is also known to be a rider that loves speed.
Well, hopefully we're going to see him in the jump off and get a quick demonstration of that. Quick shout out to all the grooms as well that do an incredible job, because keeping these grey horses as white as this one is not easy. This is a real striking flea-bitten grey. All those nice little dots. Oh, just to make a bit of a correction around there.
One more.
Fine for time. Ah, the last.
No?
The final fence comes down, 82.99, finishes on 4. Arturo Parada Vallejo and Bacot, 4 faults at this stage.
En la pista número 23, representando a México, recibimos nuevamente a Juan José Cerdegas, esta vez montando a Carola.
So at the moment, 6 clear is what we have. I'd imagine we'll see about the same again as we continue on here. And Juan Jose Zendejas and Camilla comes forward. It's another rider that travels around. We see him all over North America. And he's had a real good string of horses over the years, this guy. Ah, just an early rail there. So now he's going to try and be one of the fastest 4 fault rounds, because at the moment they are still in the prize money. Not sure a fast 4 fault round is going to be in the prize money at the end, but as soon as you have a second rail today, you know, it's really an academic round. It's about, you know, preparing for your next time out.
Well, they finished on the 2nd place at the 145 open class. I think was Thursday.
It looks like he's just wanting to give this horse a nice ride round. A little bit of mileage in the ring. So we've seen some other riders take the other option of retiring, you know, after they know that they're not in any running for prize money. Well, comes down towards that final fence, just sits on the 8 faults.
And the time.
And he's going to pick up a couple of time faults as well. So 10 total, 87.15. And a total of 10 there for Juan Jose Zendejas of Mexico with Camilla. But, you know, he's a rider that we do see all over the place, and I'm pretty sure we'll see him out and about again very, very soon with his string. At the moment, we stay on the 6 clears at this stage here in the first round. If you've just joined us, it is a jump-off competition. So any tie for first place will take us to a jump-off against the clock. It's going to be an exciting jump off when we get there. We've already got some very quick ones heading through.
Yep. We have Jessica Mendoza from England, Jose Antonio Chedraui, Eguía, because we have two Chedrauis, dad and son, so he's the dad. And then Nicolas Pizarro with Mamacita, Patricio Pascal Bo with Seringat, Nicolas Gamboa from Colombia with NKH Vittorio S, and Manuel Gonzalez with Marciales. Am I right?
You are right. Other than where Jessica Mendoza's from. That'd be Great Britain.
Ah, Great Britain. What I said, England?
Yeah, it's not the same.
I know. Oh no, and you live there, so okay. My mistake.
Well, the ring crew are hard at work. They are giving us a bit of arena maintenance, and then we're going to see the second half of this first round, and then of course that jump off to follow a little bit later on as well. As Anna just said, you know, we've got 6 riders heading through at the moment, and some very quick ones in there.
Yeah, we also got to see riders coming up with their second horse.
Yep.
So we're going to start after the break up with the quick break with Luis Gerardo Castañeda, better known as Taca Castañeda. That's how everybody calls him. And yeah.
As we're taking a quick break, a reminder, if you want to get involved with the conversation, either on YouTube or Facebook, you can drop a comment in the box below. Let us know where you are watching from. If you've got any questions or anything, let us know, or just say hello. It'd be great to hear from you. 5% she's dead pleased for Jessica. Yeah, we'll see her jump off a little bit later on. Jess did really well in the World Cup yesterday. Danny says, can you tell us the dimensions of the fences? Yeah, so it's a 1.50 meter competition. So, you know, a lot of the fences are at 150. There's a couple that are maybe at sort of 152. There's a couple that are 146, 147. But really, it's quite a strong 1.50 meter all the way around type course. And those oxers will be set at, you know, 160, 170. So yeah, it's certainly, you know, a lot of meat out there for these horses to jump. But, you know, Marina's level 4 course designer. She's the only female level 4, so Olympic level course designer in the world. Hi to Ricardo, watching at Spyco's farm in Lexington, Kentucky. Retha is watching from South Africa.
Wow.
Omar's with us as well, people watching in the Middle East. Toby Sanders watching from England. What else have we got? BSJ with Imogen says hello. April Anderson says, yay, I made it. I'm glad you're here as well, April. And hi to Lexi Luker, my partner who's watching in the grocery store, who I will see in Los Angeles later today. But again, if you want to get involved with the conversation, then you can use the comments box below. You can also search for me on Instagram. Just search for Adam Cromarty, C-R-O-M-A-R-T-Y. And if you find me on there, you'll also see a video of my trip to Puebla, which did take a long time. I didn't go the most direct route, to be fair, but it's definitely worth the trip. You'll also see what we don't see in the pictures because the cameras are facing the other way, but there's a big volcano just at the other side of this arena that's still active. I don't know if you can actually see it today with the kind of fog that's around, but it's such a stunning backdrop, so definitely worth taking a look at that as well. And we'll be back underway here in just a couple of moments' time.
Yeah, definitely today we cannot see the volcano, but it's been behaving really good this week. Last week it was a little bit more active.
And today we don't want it to be active because I've got a flight. So if it could be unactive today. Today in Forevermore says, greetings. Well, greetings to you as well. It's great to have you with us. Shelley Graves is asking, those who qualify for the jump off, will they be competing in the World Cup in April? Yeah, the World Cup final is in April in Riyadh in Saudi Arabia. This competition is not involved with qualification for that. That was the World Cup qualifier yesterday. But Jess Mendoza from yesterday, it was already looking like she would qualify based on her points, but she certainly added a bit of a buffer after yesterday. And if she chooses to go, then I think she'll definitely be guaranteed a qualification place after the points that she picked up yesterday. So yeah, that was the World Cup yesterday. And if you missed it, It is available to watch on Clip My Horse right now. But also have a look at your local listings as well, because the highlight program, it's about a 1 hour highlight or a 2 hour highlight, depending on where you are in the world, will be on television this week. I think in the USA it's probably on like Monday, Tuesday, on CBS Sports. But yeah, all the way around the world on different sports channels, you'll see the highlights. So it's definitely worth having a look at your local listings, and you'll be able to catch up on the highlights from yesterday's Longines FEI Jumping World Cup. Hi to Michelle Mason, who's watching on YouTube from Philadelphia this afternoon. April is in Utah. Tina Nielsen is watching in her house, where I'm sure you're very cozy, Tina. And my flags should be better, but I think you're in Finland. Well, we're getting ready for that second half of the first round here of the competition.
Manuel Salles.
And I still think we're going to see about another 5 or 6 clears as things progress here.
I'll go for 5 more.
You going for 5 more? I'll go for 6 more then.
Okay.
And if there's any more than that, Marina de Azevedo will be having a bad afternoon, and she'll be in the huff. She won't be happy if she gets any more than 12, I would think. But yeah, it looks like the tractors are making their final passes, all the jump materials in once again. BSJ with Imogen says, Adam, how long have you been a judge for? I don't know, like 18 years as a national judge, and then maybe about 8 or 9 years as a FEI judge. Vicky says, hello Adam, from Vicky and Claire in England. When I left England last Wednesday, it was so cold and rainy and damp, and the wind was terrible. So, Vicky, I hope it's got better since I left. I hope it's as warm as it is here. We're about 25 degrees today. Trinity Smith watching in Canada. And Arcia says, how do I know which one is the qualification for the final? In terms of the competitions that are the qualifier for the final, it's the World Cup qualifier. So you'll see that if you want to go to longinetiming.com, at any of the big FEI shows where it is a World Cup, you can find the full schedule, the order of go, the results, the course plans, all that fun stuff's on there. But in terms of the North American leagues over this side of the world, there's only one more qualifier, and it's going to be at a place called Live Oak. It's in Ocala, Florida, and it's in March. So no other class over here will qualify for World Cup until March, and that'll be in Florida. Hi to Clara, who says she's watching from France. Trinity Smith's in Canada. In terms of riders for the finals, you can actually head on to the FEI website and you can see the rankings for the North American League. I'm not going to say it's easy to work out. It can be a little bit confusing. There's a whole formula involved. Like for Jessica yesterday, she had to get like the same points as the lowest place. It was actually on the North American League because she's British, and then she gets those. To be honest, I'm not really sure. I don't think anyone is, other than the computer that works it out. The computer won't tell anyone how it works. But yeah, all that information available on the FEI website. Just have a quick Google.
InsideFaith.
Yeah, exactly.
.org.
Have a look on there.
I was going to ask you, Adam, how do you start commenting?
I started when I was about 17 or 18. I was working at a horse show and heard someone commentate and decided I wanted to give it a go. And then I became a judge, and in the UK it might be the same here. The judges also announce if you're judging at the kind of national shows. So I got into it from there. And then I went to university and did journalism, and then started working in TV, and yeah, the rest is... And here I am.
And here you are.
Here I am.
Yeah. Well, great to have you here.
I love coming to Mexico. People are always friendly. The food's great. Weather's good.
I was going to say that. And today it's a little bit cooler, but yeah, great weather.
For me, it's still tropical. For you, it's cool. For me, I'd probably still need some sunscreen. Hi to Watchnik from Poland. Nominees watching in France. Again, if your name is foreign, I'm so sorry if I get it wrong. Hopefully I managed to pronounce it. Joe's watching in Sligo in Ireland. Alan Coleman in Wexford in Ireland. Piper says, is there any news on Olympic teams of yet? I don't even think the long lists have been announced as yet. I think, you know, some of the riders are in with a shot over here. Would be the kind of normal ones, you know, for the USA. People like McLean Ward, Kent Farrington, all the kind of usual names. But yeah, the long list should be out fairly soon, I would think, because it's not that far away now before we head to Paris. Well, I think the riders should be making their way up to join us. Another final reminder as well, if you want to join in with the conversation, again, Facebook, YouTube, you know how to do it in that comments box. It'd be great to hear from you. Let us know where you're watching. Any questions or comments or any of that stuff, stick it in there. If you want to check out Instagram, search for Adam Cromarty on there. You can see my video that got me here to Puebla. And you can also send me any questions or comments on there. I'll keep an eye on my phone as things progress through here. We've got an exciting jump off to come as well. As you mentioned earlier, Anna, you know, there's a lot of competition here in Mexico. And it seems like it's going to be a busy season for these riders.
Yes, well, we always have like a big break on the summer, but also, well, we have the Olympics, and we have our team is going to the Olympics, so we are not going to have that much vacations. But
is your long list out yet?
I don't know. I'm not sure who's going, but
okay.
I have a. I'd rather not say it.
That sounded very political there.
But yeah.
We'll try and get out of her by the end of the competition. Yeah, I think most nations haven't released their actual lists as yet. I think they're still having a look, and there'd be a few to select from for Mexico.
Well, I had the chance to talk with Mark Lasking, chef d'équipe, and well, he's still looking at them. Like, he's here right now, and I think he's going to be here for the biggest competitions, just to be watching. I keep an eye on the riders. Yeah. Well, riders and horses, because that's the thing, that both have to be in shape.
Yeah, it's a team effort. Hi to Neve, who's watching in Donegal. Maria is in Portugal. Desi the horse says hi from the USA. ESU Imogen asks, have I ever judged at Stoneleigh International? I've done the British Show Jumping National Finals, which were at Stoneleigh. Wasn't aware of an international at Stoneleigh though. Baltazar says, do I ride a lot? No, hardly at all now these days. I started riding when I was 3. I became a qualified coach. Obviously we've mentioned I also judge. But yeah, in terms of riding now, I travel so much and I'm not that fit anymore. So it'd be very difficult to ride. Still do occasionally though, and still coach occasionally. Marge says, do I limit announcing to the jumping divisions, or do I also do other disciplines? No, also do other disciplines. Dressage would probably be my second favourite. I've done quite a bit of dressage training and stuff, so I kind of know enough to talk about the movements and what's going on. And then also 3-day eventing as well. I do the 5-Star Maryland event that's relatively new, about 3 years old. And then I've also done eventing for the BBC as well over in the UK. So yeah, and then of course I do stuff out with equestrian. Not that much anymore now though, because I'm always seems to be on the road and at horse shows. But thanks to everyone who is sending in questions. Great to hear from everybody. And hi to Mia Mimi, who's just joined us on YouTube.
And now we're back.
We're back underway here.
Luis Gerardo Castañeda.
This horse is having a look at something around there. It's a little bit spooky. It's kind of struggling to make it down there.
Estamos listos para continuar con esta 150 Open Class del CSI.
Taca Castañeda
4
and
estrellas,
Santa Rosa
patrocinado por el
Quality
Gobierno del
Boy.
Estado de Puebla. Recibimos de México a Luis Gerardo Castañeda, Quintas, Santa Rosa.
You make these names sound so easy.
Well, he retired with his first horse.
Hopefully he's not going to retire with this one. As I say, when it came in, it looked a little bit spooky. Sometimes they can come in, they can look a little bit spooky, and then, you know, once they actually get going, they kind of settle down into that rhythm. That seems to be what's happened today, you know, from seeing this horse come in, it wouldn't go down the long side, but then once they pick up the cancer, once they get into that rhythm, it's just kind of settles down and does his job. Oh, a bit of wiggle and a jiggle. Oh. Well, he did well to kind of stay on there and survive. Obviously, the ring crew will be jumping into action there and getting things organised. It'll be interesting to see whether he's going to come back round and try to get down that line, or whether he might just jump a nice little courtesy fence and then head on out. Yeah, so we give the horse a little finish there and retire.
Well, today was not today.
The horse was just feeling that little bit spooky when he came in.
Yeah.
He's got a liquid titanium mask on the horse, just under its fly mask there. Those are supposed to just kind of take the edge off a little bit. They seem to work rather well. Jess Mendoza already clear with one horse.
From Great Britain.
Absolutely.
See, we always have a chance to make it right.
Exactly. But no, Jess had a great round with this horse yesterday. ICAP CLZ, 12-year-old now. Jess actually got this horse as a 5-year-old, and she's produced it all the way up the grades. And her result from the World Cup yesterday has given her a little buffer. That means, should she want to head to rehab in Saudi Arabia for the World Cup finals, then it looks like she should be qualified. This is a real top-class horse. As I mentioned yesterday, you know, we saw her at the Royal Windsor Fair in Toronto. She was second in the World Cup qualifier there. Also second in the McKee Family International Challenge at the same event, 10th in the Big Ben there. Then went to Fort Worth in Texas. Some good places there. Very talented horse. He's making a good job.
Do you know if she is staying here in Mexico?
I don't think so. I think she'll probably be heading back to, I haven't spoken to her, but I think she'll be heading back to Florida, I think, because the Winter Equestrian Festival's well underway. She's been there over the last few weeks, so I think she probably came just to get those extra points needed to qualify, I would think. I think that's probably why she's here. But yeah, that was a great clear from Jess, and that means she's got 2 heading through into the jump-off.
Jessica, 7 to the jump-off.
Yeah, it was a good job. Her mum sent me a message last night, so if you're listening, Sarah, let us know. Is she staying in Mexico for a bit, or is she heading back to Florida? What's her plan? You can let us know, and we'll let everyone else know. Antonio Maura in Aircraft 1 coming forward next. A great day there for Jess. She's got 2 heading through now to that jump off. And we're up to 7 clears at the moment. Antonio Mauro is going to do. Another one who's been a part of the sport for so many years. Some great horses, had some good results. Seems to get on with this horse really well.
And his daughter is doing great too. Whoa.
Drifted a little bit through that left shoulder.
Yeah.
Jessie's mum's just messaged to say she's going back to Florida.
Okay. Whoa, whoa.
Ah, comes down on that back bar. That's a little bit of a freak rail there. Not sure he could have changed too much into that one. Four faults, 85 seconds the time. Not going to be good enough to pick up any prize money today. Heads into 13th place. Any FEI competition, at least 12 cash awards. And I think we're going to be looking at 12 today, so sadly he's just outside of those. And of course we've still got 18 to see here in this first round. Juan Jose Zendejas and Rio de 14 come forward next. Represent Mexico. They were 9th in the Grand Prix here last weekend. This is a horse that Juan's had for a couple of years now. Nicolas Pizarro had the ride before. They did a little bit of a European tour in the summer. We saw them at Valkenswaard in the Netherlands and Brussels as well. They were 6th in the 5-star in Monterey in November. Just waiting to...
I think they are fixing one of the...
Get the bell. Sometimes that can be a bit of a pain because, you know, you come up from the warm-up, your horse is right at that spot ready to go.
Yeah.
And you just don't want it to come off the boil. Oh, this one's still ready to go.
It's a beautiful horse.
Just let me at them, Dad. But yeah, he's got great colouring, great dapples. This horse has plenty of blood.
Whoops.
I was about to say seems quite adjustable, but then just kind of pulled a little bit past that distance. Bit of a conversation around there. See him just taking a check as he was coming down that line, and the horse just kind of tucked its chin out and sort of evaded his contact a little bit. This is a real nice horse. It's by Legolas, this one. 12-year-old. It's just that little bit of rideability issue. You can see again as he took a check, it really evaded the contact. So he's kind of given the right signals. He's asking the horse to come back, and the horse thinks he knows best. It picks up a time fault as well, so 13 total, 86.31 for Juan Jose Zendejas.
Juan Jose Salinas.
See.
Yeah, because there are two Juan Joses.
Okay.
This is Salinas. I think we're going to see Zendejas. No, we already saw him. He's not on the remaining combinations.
Another one for the home nation here. Is this Francisco Orantes? Cedric Degree.
He retired from the with his first horse.
A quick look on Facebook chat. Heather Piat Fisher says, happy Sunday, Adam. Well, happy Sunday to you as well, Heather. I hope you're having a good day so far. A few people on YouTube are asking about the surface and why it's so wet, but walking over that sand, I don't think it's got any kind of wax or anything in it, so I think they're watering it just to try and keep everything together on that surface.
Well, this used to be a grass arena,
Uh-huh.
and they changed it 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody loves it. Oops.
A couple have done that. Someone mentioned, is it slippery when it's wet? No, it's something that you would see pretty much. In fact, probably more in North America on the sand surfaces. Over in Europe, we tend to have a lot of waxed surfaces, so it has to be really warm for us to add any water, because that wax kind of just holds the surface together, gives it that stability. But you know, if you go to the US, it's perfectly normal for you to see them. It's not just having the round you hope for. It's perfectly normal to see the water trucks come in before, during, after the competition. They keep the surfaces watered because they don't tend to use wax as much over here. Well, comes home with 12 jumping in 2 times, so Jesus finishes on a total of 14. Sitting on the 7 clears at the moment. Hi to Rachel Morgan. She's just joined us on Facebook Live, watching in New South Wales, Australia. Nicholas Pizarro next to go, back with another one of his horses, Chaco S. Airman. He's an Olympian who's been to the Pan American Games, the World Championships. Nico started jumping the horse last March and spent quite a bit of time in Europe over the summer. Jumped some nice clears at Dublin, placed in Valkenswaard, and then ended last year at Thermal in California. And then, of course, started their season for 2024 here in Puebla. Last week he was 5th in one of the opening classes, just had a single rail in the Grand Prix.
Nicolas Pizarro has his own school, like he has a lot of students and a really big team of teachers, and he inaugurated his own place last year, and now he has like I'm not sure if 2 or 3 competitions at his place. Not international, but
yeah,
national competitions.
Oh, he's a nice guy, and he's built a great business for himself, and he deserves it. This is very smooth, just flowing round.
Here's the Puebla Oxer, perfect. I think that Oxer is one of the obstacles that have come down more frequently.
Yeah, it was a really nice round there. Nicolas Pizarro jumps clear for Mexico, 80.91 with Chaco S. Airman. I think that'll be one to watch in the jump off. He just kind of flowed around there.
Well, Nico with both horses, Mamacita, Chaco as Erman, and also Jessica Mendoza with 2 horses. I have 3 left.
Yeah. Still think we're going to see 4 more. Andrea Hasse next to go. Allegra de Valhenry for Mexico.
Whoops.
Not off to a great start.
Nope.
It's another one who we saw jump here last week in the meter 40, meter 45 divisions. Some good rounds at the end of last year with his string in Monterey. Bert Bless of the Netherlands brought this one through the young horse competitions. That's a real delicate plank, as it goes too many issues. Sits on 8 faults at the moment. It's all the clears and the real fast 4 faults that are making up the lineup here that are in the placings at this stage. That was a shame because the second half of the course was really nice. Finishes up on the 8 faults, 80.91 there for Andrea Hasse and Allegra de Valhenry for Mexico in 16th, so out of the runnings. Not too many left to come. We've got about 13 left in the first round. Exciting jump off to come as well. Hi to Diane, who's watching in Ontario, Canada. If you have just tuned in, then it's very interactive. You can get involved. Any questions, any comments, any good luck messages for these riders, you can let us know. Just use the comment box on YouTube or Facebook, or send me a message on Instagram. Just search for Adam Cromarty on there. It'd be great to hear from you. And this is a real talented young rider that's with us now.
Well, she had a great week last week, and this week we saw her on the podium, 2nd, 3rd places. She's been doing great.
Yeah, and she has to work a little bit with this one. Doesn't look the most straightforward, but it looks like she's developing some real natural feel. She's quite reactive. It lands a bit long, she can feel that. She uses the contact, she uses her upper body. Oh, she drifts a little bit through the shoulder there.
Oops.
Has it stayed up though?
Yeah.
She got away with it. She's carrying a little bit much energy coming through there. Yeah, she's had a great campaign here.
One more.
You okay with the time?
Yeah.
Yeah, inside 85.23. See that big smile? Yeah, she's having the time of her life this week and last week. Congratulations there to Martina. Claire will head through to that jump off against the clock.
Tenemos en la pista 32 representando a Chile, Bernardo Navella, que monta fantasía.
So what are we up to now? 9 at the moment. 12 left to come here in the first round. Bernardo Navalian is next. Fantasia for Chile.
As I said before, we're going to see like a fast... He's a fast rider.
Rachel Morgan's on Facebook Live and just saying what a nice round we saw from that previous rider, Martina.
Yeah, Martina's part of this young generation of riders that are doing great.
Anna's saying, could Croatia participate in the Grand Prix? Yes, the Grand Prix was yesterday. I don't think we've got any riders here from Croatia. But yeah, if you know any riders from Croatia that would like to come to Mexico, tell them to get over here.
Ooh.
That's still up. It was quite a hard drop, though. Looks like we're about to see our next clear round.
And there we are.
Yeah, job done. 79.26 there. And clear. Again, he's very quick, so we'll look forward to seeing him back in that jump off a little bit later on.
0 puntos dentro del tiempo. Chile en el desempate. Bernardo, tenemos aquí con
Really going to have to go quick in that jump off, though the pressure is going to be on. Amazon on YouTube says, I like this mare. Right, let's get Alberto Sanchez Cozar underway. CBS Fantastic.
Alberto Sanchez Cozar is the trainer for the Michel sisters, Claudia, Sofia, Maria.
Ah, okay.
We've seen them this week. Well, I think Claudia is coming up. Well, in a few moments. But yeah, but he's their trainer.
He's been having a good week then.
Yep.
And he's a real talent. You know, he was third individually and part of the medal gold team at the Central American Games last year with a different horse. This is an Irish-bred horse that won the 5- and 6-year-old finals with Kevin Gallagher. He was a young one. Some good placings last week, and Alberto got the horse in September of 2022. Showed him in the 7-year-old finals in Monterrey, where they finished third.
Well,
it's a shame.
yep. But let's see what happens with the time and if he can. Well, no, because we already have 9.
It's all the clears and the 2 fastest 4 faults that are in the money at the moment. 82.19 and 4 faults there for Alberto Sanchez Cozar, just outside the money there.
Entre la pista el número 35. Monta por México se llama José Madariaga.
Yeah, right now we have 10 clears to the jump off. I only have 1 left. You have 2.
We might even see 3, who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
Jose Madariaga?
Madariaga.
I was so close.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Mamusen van der Dal having that first fence down. And they know if they have a rail, especially early on, they've really got to make that decision because, you know, the 2 4 fault rounds that are still in the money were super quick. So unless you're in here for experience, if you want some prize money, if you have a rail, you've got to go fast. You've got to get the foot on the pedal and get going. Jose Carlos is watching on YouTube and says, good night from Spain, don't leave us. We're going to have an exciting jump off to come.
Comes a triple combination.
Just running a little bit flat today. He's going to pull up here and retire. Yeah, he gives a signal to the ground jury. You can see the great backdrop though, just at the kind of top of your screens there. Such a great setting, but sadly, we do see that partnership retire. So let's stay on those 10 clears at this stage. Certainly still got another couple. Once again, a huge thank you to everyone that's getting involved with the conversation on Facebook, on YouTube, those that are sending me a message on Instagram as well. Big thank you for that. And let's get Claudia Michel underway in here with Carmouge de Hozad. It's a 12-year-old mare, this one. It's a horse that Jonathan Cherbol of France rode all the way through the summer of last year, came over to Mexico in the autumn for Claudia. Picked up a top 10 finish back in November in a 2-star speed competition and 5th in the 140 2-star class here just last week. She's had some good results, and that's going to be frustrating today to have that rail.
Yeah, as I was saying, these are 3 sisters. All of them ride. Claudia, Sofia, and Maria. A riding family.
Yeah, it must be nice. I'm sure they have the occasional argument, but overall it must be quite nice to be able to, you know, do the sport with your family, and also to get their input as well.
Well, and to that, their dad is their biggest fan, so. Too bad.
Yeah, 81.74. Well within the time. She had time to burn there. But finishes up on the 4. Claudia Michel for Mexico. 4 faults here in this first round. Luis Alejandro Plasencia and Beautiful Red coming next. This is a horse we've seen right up at the top of the sport.
It's a combination that has been working together for a very long time.
There's a couple of comments on Facebook Live in Spanish, and normally I have to push the C translation button, but I don't have to do that today. I can just give you a nudge instead.
Well, he's saying, I really want to thank you because you take like the time to cover these delicious competitions.
Oh.
For people like me, that it's impossible to assist live. It's great, and God bless you.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
that was a
great.
nice comment. I'm glad you translated it. Well, it looks like Luis Alejandro is going to retire. You know, it's such a sensible thing to do because a horse like Beautiful Red, he knows what a special horse this is. They've done so much together. We've seen him in the World Cups in the past. The horse doesn't need the mileage. He knew he was out of contention. We've got to remember, these horses have only got so many jumps in them. Judy Burns says, so glad to have stumbled across this. Well, I'm glad you did, Judy, and it's good to have you watching on Facebook Live with us. We're getting down to the final few here in this first round. Emilia.
8 more to go. This is Emilia Castañeda.
And Oliskia. Nice grey, this one. 10-year-old. And these guys will all have spent a bit of time watching a few go and just seeing how the lines and the distances are riding, but sadly Amelia just having that rail coming down. So we're just going to stay on the 10 clears for now. 7 left. Then that jump off to follow. Uh, 13 is going to be the score. 86-51. 12 for jumping, 1 for time.
Well, still 10 last jump off, and now we have Patricio Pascal riding Alicia Santa Rosa. This could be the 11 combination.
Yeah, he's definitely in with a shot for sure. This is a nice horse.
Nope.
There's been some real strange rounds today, you know, strange as in the ones you'd expect to go clear, having rails.
He's going to retire.
Yeah, it's a little bit like, you know, we've been talking about during the competition. You know, the horses that don't need the mileage, it's definitely the right thing to do. Marge says, Adam, is the elevation high there? And do the horses need time to acclimatise? So I'm going to have a quick Google search. Current elevation. Unless you know, Anna, do you? How high are we?
Oh, well, I'm not sure if it's higher than Mexico City, but it
For those that don't know how high Mexico City
is. Now it's like, I don't know. It's high.
It's high.
It's high. But well, most of these horses
I'm glad you're here,
live
Anna.
here. No, it is high.
Okay, watch this space because we're going to answer that question in a minute. We're going to come back to it and we're going to pretend we never asked it before.
It's 2,240 meters, Mexico City, and I'm going to say
Well, this is Leobardo Flores on track, by the way. My, Lucia.
Okay, we are not higher than Mexico City. We are like, but it's like 50 or 60 meters lower, more than 2,000 meters above the sea level.
But it's still very, very high.
Very, very high.
And once this round's finished, we'll talk about how long it takes horses to acclimatise. So don't go anywhere. Stay right there. Leobardo's had a rail.
Yep.
Again, if they want to try and get some prize money with the rail, they've got to be quick. Fastest 4-fault round is 80.41. It's a slightly long through there.
Whoops.
the last comes down as well. So finishes up on 12, 83.58. Total of 12 there for Leobardo. So yeah, someone was asking about getting the horses acclimatized because we are up pretty high here. And I have to say, I notice when I'm walking up a hill, either I'm getting less fit or it is harder for us to do hill work here. But yeah, so the horses take on average about 4 to 7 days to be completely accustomized. The respiration rate does go up a little bit. But also their body starts to generate more red blood cells and capillaries, and that's to carry that extra oxygen around the body. So once a horse is fully you know, been here and does go through that process, they might have up to 50% more red blood cells than a horse that's down at sea level. Fun facts. But let's get back to the competition. Valeria de Leon Gonzalez is next. Lorenco Vantveld, Mexico. But yeah, I'm going to remember these horses get here a little bit earlier. They've got the horse inspection first.
Well, and also most of these horses live here.
Yeah, yeah, there's only a few really that would be coming in. Maybe only Jessica Mendoza's actually. Maybe Nico Gamboa's as well.
Well, a few of these horses that, for example, live in Veracruz, that it's a sea level city, they arrive like 2 or 3 days earlier.
Yeah.
Like if pet check is on Wednesday, they arrive on Monday or Sunday, you know, like before the competition.
Came in quite big, and she really had to then take a check to try and get some room again, and that catches up with her there. A very related line.
Well, she was, I talked to her on Wednesday or Thursday, I don't remember exactly, but she was telling me that this horse, like outside the course, it's like lazy and, you know, like, and when it gets into the course, he goes for it.
Comes to life.
Yeah, transforms.
Finishes up on the 4 today, does go into the prize money, fastest of the 4 fault rounds, so into 11th place. Piper Eve Watch says, had to take a break to get my tea. Has Jess been again already? She has, and she went clear again, so she's going to bring 2 horses back. Eddie Bravo says, come on, Nico. Nico Gamboa coming back for that jump off a little bit later as well.
Now we have Christian Lopez from Mexico riding Grand Slam. Another beautiful horse.
Oh, we're down to the final 3 here in the first round. I still think we could get another clear. But we know it's going to be an exciting jump off. You know, they come back in the same order as they jump clear, so those going to the beginning will put the pressure on, and I think they're going to need to today because they've got some fast ones coming towards the end. Quite smooth so far.
Oh,
catches it.
Yep.
He was making the round look quite smooth, and then it's flattened slightly through there.
Lucky with the Puebla one. That one, that oxer.
Whoa, whoa. That was an honest horse to go from there. Some horses would have put the brakes on. Good to see him getting home safely, because it could have gone a little bit wrong there. Finishes up on 8, jumping 2 time, total of 10, 87.06. great for Christian as well to have that little bit of a mishap and then, you know, manage just to re-establish the rhythm, get organized again, get back on track, and then complete. Well, just a couple left to go. Then, of course, jump off to come. Ring crew will be changing the course for that. And in that little break, I think we'll talk about horses' lungs, because we've been talking about, you know, having to get used to being up at this high elevation, getting acclimatized. So let's do some fun facts about horses' lungs when we get into that break, because we'll have a little bit of time to fill while the course designers make those changes. So stay with us for that. But we get down to the final two here. Manuel Anton Fernandez. Pampero by Casterado. Some Chaco blue lines in there as well.
Yeah, Manuel Antonio, that it's from República Dominicana.
That's the Dominican Republic.
Dominican Republic, yes.
I managed to translate something. I'm very pleased with myself, given how bad my Spanish is. But he's another one who was here last week. Santiago Lambre used to have this horse, used to compete him. Manuel took over the reins in May last year and was the winner of the Bulgarian Games with a different horse back in 2022. Another one. Down to that final fence then, and not quite getting the feeling that he was hoping for. Call it a day and retire.
2 more to go.
Just 2 left. Still sitting on the 10 clears. Gonzalo Azcárraga next with Cash Star.
Yep, as we were saying, Gonzalo is Jaime Azcárraga's son. We saw him. He was the first one to finish the course today, because we have a few retiring before him, but yeah. Young enthusiast, and he's doing great too.
Jose Luis Montellano, I hope I've got your name right, says, Viva Mexico, great horses and riders. Did I get his name right, Anna?
The name? Jose Luis Montellano.
I think I was.
Yeah, you were
Yeah,
pretty close.
Pretty there. As close as I was ever going to get, I think. Just taking a little bit of a check down there, and it's a bit fussy in his mouth. Zalova, good rider. As Anna mentioned, you know, the whole family's been involved with the sport, and we've seen pretty much all of them jump around North America.
Oh.
That line's really starting to come into its own now, cause a couple of issues. Stays on the 8 faults, back down to home.
Side of time, 83.5, 57, 8 points.
A little bit of look of disappointment there, because he knows just, you know, how special that horse is.
Tiene un tiempo conseguido de 63 segundos para longitud de 390 metros. Sacros a este desempate. 1, 2, 3, 12, 8.
It looks like he was in fact last to go here in the first round, so we get ready for that jump off against the clock. 10 are going to be making it through. You can see those runners and riders on your screens right now. They will be coming back in the same order as they jump clear in the first round, so the drawn order remains the same for the jump off. The riders will probably be having a quick look, just reminding themselves of that jump off course. Most of them, unless they're really superstitious, will have had a look at the course, had a walk of the jump off course when they were walking for the first round, so they'll know exactly where they're going to be going. You got any favourites on that list that you think we should be looking out for, Anna?
Well, I think, well, Nico is going to be the one of them. And because, well, he's with 2 horses. But also Patricio Pascal, I think. I don't know. I don't want to jinx it.
Well, yeah, there's definitely some fast ones in there.
Well, I'm going to say Martina Franco is one of my favorite drivers.
Okay.
So I go for her. I hope to see her on the podium.
Do you know who I think will win? The fastest clear in the jump off. That's who's going to win, Anna. I've read the rules. I'm not giving you any names. That's it.
Okay. I'm learning. I'm still learning. But that's a good one, and I'm not going to forget about that one. Who's going to win the fastest one?
But yeah, they're going to try and put the pressure on as they come in, for sure. But our ring crew are hard at work. They're getting us ready. And we're going to be underway with that jump off in a few moments' time. Great opportunity as well. If you've got any questions, then you can stick them in that comments box below, whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, or if you want to search for me on Instagram, you can search for Adam Cromarty, and you can send me a message on there. I'll keep an eye on my phone as always. And as I mentioned earlier, on my way here, I didn't take the most direct route. And it took about 36 hours, and I made a little video along the way. So if you want to see that, again, you can search for Adam Cromarty on Instagram, and you'll be able to find it there. But we were talking a little bit about the elevation of this show. You know, we're right up, way, 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 way high in the air. We did work out the elevation, but it was high. It was like 2,000 meters or something. And someone was asking if the horses have to, you know, get used to that height and get used to the elevation before they start. And, you know, we were saying, yeah, they do. It takes kind of around about 4 days. And, you know, once they're fully used to it and they're acclimatized, if you were to pull blood, you would find that they'd have more red blood cells because those blood cells, you know, are carrying the oxygen around the body. And since we've got this break, you can either get a drink, or I was going to give you some fun facts about the horse's lungs because, you know, the horse's body is amazing. It's amazing how it's evolved, and it's amazing how we manage to compete at the heights we do with them. But their lungs are always pretty amazing to me. Everyone always thinks their lungs are absolutely huge, and they are. You know, they're just massive. But they're actually proportionately just as big as ours. So obviously we're much smaller than they are. So proportionately, the horse's lungs, they weigh in about 7 kilos. It's about 1.5% of their body weight. But proportionately, they're the same. They have about 50 litres of oxygen. And we've got about 6 to 7 for ours. So they do have a lot more oxygen floating about. But when they're resting, their respiratory rate is about the same as us. So about, you know, 8 to 12, 8 to 15 movements per minute. And it's about the same for them. That's another fun fact. The weirdest fun fact about their lungs is that about 60% of the air that the horses inhale is useless. And that's because, you know, the dead space, that's what it's called, is the amount of air inhaled that never actually gets in contact. So it never includes in that gas exchange that the horses actually use when they're competing. Most people know horses can't breathe through their mouth. We've got our epiglottis. They've got a little extra epiglottis, which does make it a kind of one-way system. So they cannot breathe through their mouth at all. And this is the one that I find most interesting. And when we get into the jump off, it's one that you can look out for because the respiratory frequency, so how often they breathe, is actually linked to their canter stride. So if you have a good listen, when the horses are cantering round, the horses exhale at the same time that they put down the last foreleg. So for those that do ride and you know, are involved, the sport involved with horses, you know that the canter is what we call a 3-time movement. So the way the horses move, it's a 3-time pace, and there's a moment where, you know, all the legs are off the ground, But when the last foreleg touches down on the ground, that's when the horse exhales. So there we go. Some fun facts. Yeah, so we're going to get underway with the jump off, just so that we'd fill a little bit of time as we were getting ready. For those that are really into the science, and this might be getting a little bit too sciencey for you now, but the horses are actually got a little trick in their bag because they're such incredible athletes. So if they ever discover that they don't have enough oxygen, which of course would cause problems, then they can do something called a splenic contraction. That means that the horses are actually able to contract their spleens, and the spleen then releases all its blood cells in the bloodstream, and of course that helps capture more oxygen and it brings it to the muscles. Okay, that's your science lesson over. Don't forget, if you want to see the start list for the jump off, have a look at the course plan, look at the live results. You can do all that on longines-timing.com. Have a look on there, longines-timing.com. It's got all that fun stuff. They do a lot of competitions around the world, so when you get to that homepage, they do skiing as well, which is rather strange. But make sure you click the equestrian section, then of course search for Puebla, click on Sunday, you'll see this class, and then you'll see all the icons to get all the information, and probably more than you ever wanted. So yeah, definitely worth having a look there, longines-timing.com. Once again, if you are watching on YouTube or Facebook, thank you so much. As well, if you're watching on Clip My Horse, thank you as well. But for those that are getting involved with the conversation, it's always great to have your company. And there is still time. If you want to get involved, then you can stick any questions or comments or just say hello in that comments box. If you want to take a look on Instagram, you can search for Adam Cromarty on there. And again, have a look at that video I did on the way over here. But final preparations are being made out there. And then we'll be underway with a very exciting jump off. Who's it going to be? Who's going to take the final international competition here in Puebla at this event for 2024? See the tractors just making that final pass by now. So we're just taking a short pause here. If you want to grab a quick drink, now's a perfect time. This jump off is going to be super fast. Someone else commenting on the amount of water. Again, you know, this surface, we talked about this a little bit, I don't know if you were with us earlier, but you know, over on the European circuit, if you've been watching those shows, there's a lot of wax in those surfaces. Some people like wax surfaces, some people don't. You don't see as much wax and fibre and stuff used over here, and because of that, the water just helps give a little bit of stability. So basically it makes the surface stick together. You don't want the surface to become too deep so that when you land, it sort of moves away from the horse. You've got to remember, as the horse lands, it actually lands for a fraction of a second with all its weight, the rider's weight, the weight of the tack, on one leg. And you know, you see that fetlock jock really flexing, and the horse's fetlock on that leg almost touches the ground. So you don't want the surface to be moving away. Obviously you don't want it to be too firm, and it's a very fine line sometimes, but you want the surface to really support the horse as it lands and not to move away. So in Europe they tend to use more wax. Here they tend to water the surfaces. Just gives it that little bit of stability, that little bit of stickiness, so it doesn't move away. And obviously we're in Mexico. There's a little bit of a wind today. It's quite warm, so the water they put in does dry off quite quickly. I agree, it does look wetter than some other surfaces, but you've got to remember though, the water on the sand doesn't make it slippy. You know, it just drains through. So, see you here. But yeah, it looks like the final little bit of water going on, the final bit of tractor work, and then we'll be underway. Monique says, where will I be next? Well, as soon as I finish this competition, I am heading to Mexico Airport. It's about a 2.5-hour drive from here in Puebla. Then my girlfriend lives in Los Angeles, so I spend quite a bit of time there during the year, so I'm actually flying there on the way back to the UK, so I'll be there until about Wednesday. Then I go home. I'm doing the Grand Prix in Ocala every Saturday night, but give you a little bit of a inside secret. I actually do those from home, so the live stream I managed to do those from home, so I'll be doing them every Saturday night if you want to tune in. Again, it'll be on Clip My Horse, in fact, 7 p.m. local time, the Ocala Grand Prix every Saturday night. And then I'll be back over here for Live Oak, which is the final leg in the Longines FEI Jumping World Cup North American League. Final chance for the riders on the North American League to pick up some valuable points. Marge is saying, Adam, to adjust for shows with a high elevation, go swimming for a couple of weeks to build up your RBCs. It helps. It's a very good tip, Marge. Normally I just go to the bar for a couple of weeks to prepare, but I think your suggestion is probably much more helpful and useful. But we are getting ready to be underway here. It looks like the tractor's about to head out. Course is set. For those with a really good memory, I can tell you what the jump-off course is. Of course, we'll give you a proper tour when we get one on, but they're starting in the same place over fence number 1, that vertical. Straight on to the long side over the Oxer at 2. Then's the first opportunity where they can really make up some time coming back round in a rollback turn to the vertical at 3. Fence 12's next. That's going to be a right-handed turn. They want to be as tight as they like as they come back round to 12. Then we head down to the first 2 parts of the triple combination. So that's right-handed towards the centre. 8A coming in. 1 non-jumping stride. 8B, the Oxer coming out. Then from here, left-handed, again a bit tighter, round towards the Oxer at 9. That's kind of right up at the kind of top end of the arena, just to the right-hand side of where they come in. And then we're going to be finishing over a new fence. It's going to be a left-handed turn down towards fence number 15. Again, we'll give you that proper tour when we get somebody on track. But for those that have got a really good memory, who's been sitting watching and remembers the course, and that'll give you a bit of an idea at where they're going. Rodent Razor said, are the points totally separate in the US and Europe? And they are when it comes to qualifying from World Cup. So the rider has to designate which league they're going to compete in. And then you can do the other qualifiers, but the points you then get if you're not within your own league depend on the highest and lowest placed rider who is on. It's very, very confusing, if I'm being honest. But yeah, you can compete in different leagues, but you get points for your own league. I think that's the important point there. But when it comes to the actual world rankings, it doesn't matter where in the world you are competing. If it's a world ranking competition and that's based on prize money, then you can pick up world ranking points. Right, here's our start list for this jump off against the clock. Jess Mendoza and Chuck Bass going to get us underway. Jose Antonio Chedraui's in there. Nico Pizarro, highest ranked rider on the world rankings. Patricio Pascal's in there. Nico Gamboa, he's very quick. That's a super horse he's got there. Manuel Gonzalez Dufresne, another rider we saw in the World Cup qualifier yesterday. So even those first 6 are really going to add the pressure on. Then we come back to Jess Mendoza. And that horse that's been doing so well on the World Cup circuit. Nico Pizarro's got another horse in there as well. Right to the end, you know, it's going to be very, very fast indeed. DD Eventing said, is it over? Not by a long shot. We've come at a good time. Just about to see the jump off. And here is our first combination. Remember, Jess Mendoza's got 2 horses in this jump off. She's a very competitive athlete and she's going to try and put as much pressure on as she can. And again, we'll give you that tour of this jump off course as Jess gets underway. For those that are a bit new to the sport, the riders don't get to walk the course for the jump off again. They can walk it when they walk for the first round. Most do. Most will at least have a look. You'd have to be very superstitious not to. I think, you know, the majority of riders will have a look at that jump-off course and perhaps even walk it, because it's very important about, you know, where you're going to make your turns and your lines. And then obviously things change a little bit because they remove a lot of the material that's not in use here in the jump-off, and that really opens up the space. And then it's really up to you to find those little gaps or to decide where you're going to turn. Right, all that said, let's get Jess Mendoza underway. as Living and Thriving says on YouTube Live, here we go. Bernami says good luck.
Yeah, good luck too.
Right, we're starting in the same place, so it's over that vertical at fence number 1. Then we go down to the long side, Oxer at fence 2. And this is the first chance to really make up some time. The riders will have to decide just how tight they can roll back round to this vertical at 3. Right-handed down towards fence number 12, penultimate fence from the first round. Just setting up nicely here. Jumps 12, then it's round to the first 2 parts of the triple combination from the first round. Now it's just a double. It's 8A, the upright in, 1 non-jumping stride over the Oxer at 8B, and then round towards fence number 9, sends them right up to the top of the arena here. Power question, and then down to a new fence, fence 15. Again, this is going to be about risk and reward. It's a very gappy vertical to finish. 46.15 gets us off to a good start. Jess Mendoza for Great Britain with Chuck Bass, 46.15 to beat. And I think that final fence is where, you know, they really are going to have to gallop. But it's so gappy and so delicate. It's all going to be about risk and reward for sure.
Well, she was also lucky with the Oxer, Puebla Oxer. That it's obstacle number 9. And now we have Jose Antonio Chedraui.
It's Concord.
Concord.
First one for the home nation. Someone asking about jumping over the plants. Yeah, if there's arena decoration there, then you can jump over it, as long as it's not marked as being closed on the course plan. I don't know if I saw any piles of plants, but yeah, if there's like there, if there's a pile of plants and they're in your way and you can get a turn, then yeah, you can jump over arena decoration for sure. Obviously over the fences, you need to stay in between the red and white flags. Oh. Nicely done. But he knows we've already got a clear. He knows he's going to have to try and make up some time along the way. 46.15 to beat. Oh. Ah. He might just overshot that turn ever so slightly. Making his way around there towards A and B. And then down towards this new fence, fence 15. 47.63, finishes up on the 4 there. Jose Antonio Chedraui and Concord from Mexico. There's a lot of jumping in this jump off. It's quite a long, twisty course.
It's a nice jump off.
Yeah, you know, you need to have a horse that can turn and go fast though if you want to do well in this one.
We are also talking about a big course. Like they have a lot of, the designer has a lot of space.
Yeah.
So we can see the horses galloping.
Really trying to make up some time along the way. And it's an interesting shape, this arena. You know, most arenas in our sport are rectangular or square. This is a bit of a funny shape. And I know it makes our course designers' life a little bit more tricky, a little bit more difficult. But I think it adds to the challenge and it makes it more interesting.
Here comes Nicolas Pizarro with Mamacita.
This should be interesting, this one. A very competitive rider. Very experienced athlete. Ranked within the top 30 in the world rankings right now. Eddie says how many horses are clear. There were 10 coming back for the jump off. 1 double clear at the moment. But Nico's very, very competitive. Good angle here, sets up for that right-handed turn. Just gets his leg on a little bit here. And sets up. Now he's up on the clock by almost a second. I think he's probably going to open up down towards that final fence. I think this is where he'll get a little bit of leg on. Keep moving forward.
And there you go.
Brand new leader, 45.11. The home nation heads up to the top. Nico Pizarro Mamashita from Mexico, 45:11. That new time to beat.
0 puntos en 45:11.
That's going to add a little bit of pressure on.
Se coloca
He wasn't going mad, he wasn't galloping. I think there probably is a little door left open there.
Entra a la pista el
That was a very solid round. Sarangat comes forward next, another one for the home nation here. Patricio Pascal Poe takes the ride. See what his plan is here in the jump off. Takes a rail. You know, having a rail and a jump off like this is well worth sticking to your plan. He overshot slightly there, but you don't know how many double clears we're going to have. So you've got to get that rail at the back of your mind and just keep moving forward. So it's caught up there and then has that refusal. Don't know, he might just decide to retire. We'll wait and see, as he knows he's going to have 12 jumping and time faults, I would imagine, even in the jump off, with 6 seconds added on for that disturbance. We'll see what he decides to do, though. Yeah, decides to retire there, quite sensible. For those that didn't grab a drink during our little jump-off break, remember to listen out as well as the horses are going round. Listen out for them exhaling as that last foreleg hits the ground. That was one of our fun facts. If you've just joined us, we were talking about the horses' lungs during the break. Back to the sport, though, and back to a very experienced combination that are quick and competitive. Nico Gamboa, NKH Vittorio S.
Well, already we have 1 4 volts, 2 clears. Nico's time to beat 45.11. And let's see if Nicolas Gamboa can do it faster.
Well, I know he'll give it a go for sure, especially with this horse. Really eats up the ground. Nice and slick through there. I don't think anyone's going to manage to turn tighter into that fence. And he can open up. Doesn't even have to take a check. He knows this horse is so careful. Oh. Oh. Ah. That was a shame. He just drifted through that left shoulder a little bit round the turn there. His time is going to be quick. Maybe steadies a little bit here. Still a fast time, 44.79. Fastest time we've seen. 8 faults, of course, though, for Nico Gamboa. And really, I think he would have been faster to the last fence had he been on a clear. I think he probably just steadied down a touch. He's got a great angle there. Really slicing across these fences. And that was a shame. Just finishes up on the 8 faults. So Nicolas Pizarro still leads for Mexico at this stage. Manuel Gonzalez de Frey is next. Another one for the home nation here.
He competed for Mexico with the team. He's one of the youngest riders that have been on the team. He also competed in Tokyo.
It's another one who's super competitive. Having to ride every single stride out there today. Let's see how he's going to handle the turn back to the double, though. Yeah, it was spot on. He's neck and neck. He's literally at an identical point as he landed out of there. 45.11 to beat.
No.
5 seconds to get home. He pushes on down. Oh, has to take a check. Ah, just over. Like 1/10 of a second between them, 45-0. I think it was the check's the last that has pushed him down into second place. Jess Mendoza for Great Britain goes third, but Nicolas Pizarro still leads, 45-11, that time to beat.
3 more to go.
Yeah. Or 4, I think.
4, yeah. 4 more to go.
Almost had to get my abacus out there and check, but no, 4 left.
Yeah, Jessica Mendoza is coming back.
Well, that's how things look at the moment. You can see on screen Nico Pizarro at the top there, 45-11. What do we think? Do you think Nico's done it?
Not sure. There are a few good riders coming up.
That doesn't sound like a yes or a no, but I mean, I think he's left a door open. You know, Nico Gamboa was faster than him, and I think still could have been faster than he actually was.
Yes.
But we've got Jess Mendoza coming with, you know, I think probably her top horse just now. Certainly one that's been doing very, very well with her. She would probably be the one to watch out of the ones that are left to go. And then depending on what happens, because she's going to be coming next, Nicolas Pizarro has another horse. So if she does take over the lead, then Nico's going to try and catch her again. This could be an exciting finish. Obviously, Jessica brought 2 horses through to the jump off, and it would be unfair to rush her. So we'll give her, you know, as much time as she needs to swap on to that second horse, get warmed up, and then come and join us. The other riders can elect to move up, but they won't be asked or forced to do that. They've got to stay in that drawn order. We have just got a couple left to come here, so definitely worth staying with us. Jose says, good luck to all the horses and riders from Aitken, the USA. Again, if you've got any questions, any final questions, you can stick them in that comments box. Let us know if you think Nico's done enough. Today, Forevermore says Ireland or Irish horses still holds her heart for gorgeous horses. Sue Ryder says good luck to all the riders and horses. Angelica May's watching in Miami Airport. Piper says, I don't think a Hoy's qualification qualifies me for this. Well, you don't have to qualify to be here, Piper. If you had the horse, you can get on the plane and come on over.
Yeah, everybody should come down here.
Yeah, everyone should come to Mexico. The food's very good. The sunshine's good, and the sport's great.
And well, Puebla is a vibrating city, so you can find a lot of things to do.
What's your favorite thing to do in Puebla?
Walk around Centro and buying crafts and yeah.
Next year I need to do that, because this is my 3rd year here, and so far I've seen this venue and I've seen the hotel. So it feels like next year I need to venture out, need to plan a little trip.
Okay, I can be your tourist guide.
That would be great.
We can go around.
I feel I need to get more adventurous than the hotel and the venue.
Well, next year, I hope it doesn't take you 36 hours to get here.
Yeah, I might take a more direct route next year. Shelley Graves says, hi Adam, where will we see you next? Ocala for their Grand Prix, 7 p.m. next Saturday night. Available on Clip My Horse and via the World Equestrian Centre website. So if you can tune in, Shelley, it'd be great to have you watching. Won't be on YouTube though. But it will be on Clip My Horse or the website of the World Equestrian Centre. That's next Saturday at 7 o'clock. Bella Equestrian joined late, but good to have you with us, Bella. You've missed so much of the action, but I think you've come at the most exciting part. We're going to see how this jump off plays out. Jorge Fernando says, I think Nico will win. It's his premonition. anything.
Anything. Anything.
Right, those final preparations being made by Jessica. Are told she's just on her way up from the warm-up. And she'll be with us in a sec.
Well, also Nico Pizarro is preparing his second horse.
Yeah, I mean, anything could happen here. You know, as I said, if Jessica goes into the lead, it could be short-lived. You know, Nico could come in and catch her again. And she'll be aware of that. You know, she'll be trying to add as much pressure as she can, knowing that Nicolas Pizarro is going to be coming behind her and, you know, could definitely chase her down. But you've got to remember that horse that Jessica's bringing forward was the one that finished second in the World Cup at the Royal Winter Fair in Toronto. It's a very quick horse indeed. And it was super careful in the first round, so we'll see what she's going to do.
Well, we also have Bernardo Navellan. He's a fast rider. He could change the things around. He could move.
Change those podium places.
Yep.
And then a young rider in that mix as well.
Yeah, Martina.
Yeah, so we can't rule those out. Stephanie Fisher says, just tuning in. What is the jump off? Well, we've only got a few left to go. The reason we're kind of stopped for a sec, Stephanie, is because one of the riders had 2 horses. She's already jumped one, so we're just giving her that opportunity to warm up at the second one. Sunrider says, Mustangs and Warm Bloods are some of my favourite horses. I don't think you'll see any Mustangs here today, but you'll certainly see plenty of Warm Bloods jumping. And I think Martina de Azevedo, our course designer, has done a very good job here. It was a good first round. She made that change in the time allowed. It gave us 10 clears. But there's plenty of options in this jump off as well. You know, we've seen some of those executed. Plenty of turns, areas where they can move on and make up some time. I imagine Jessica's just kind of tightening her girth, getting organised. And then she'll be coming up to get us back underway here in this jump off against the clock.
Well, I should say that the paddock is not that close to the arena, like they have to go through a hill, kind of. So, well, maybe that is taking time a little bit more time.
But it's, again, as I said, you know, it's important that we don't rush her. She's got to have the same amount of time as if she only had 1 horse. And real kudos to her for managing to qualify 2 horses into that jump off today. It's hard enough qualifying 1, but to bring 2 here and manage to qualify for the jump off is pretty good.
Yep.
But thank you to everyone who is staying with us. Denise the horse says Jessica's probably going to win. I hope she does. Well, we're going to find out if you're right. It's a great backdrop here. You can see that gate going down, and here she is. Jessica Mendoza is back. Second ride for her in this jump off. A very well-informed horse called ICAP CLZ. One that Jess got as a 5-year-old, so she's produced it all the way up the grades. It's now jumping at the top of the sport. I know she thinks a lot of this horse, and quite rightly so. Right, 45.11. That's the challenge. That's the time to beat. Let's see how she gets on. So off and running. Protects that boxer nicely. Quite slick through here. She's going to slice across at the angle. A nice split time in a sec. Really gets her leg on here. Opens the stride up. She's up on the clock. She is faster.
Yep.
Now she's just got to keep it together, jump this, and then make a decision what to do down here. And she is going for it. She gets her leg on. She adds the pressure. Down to the last. Jumps that. And straight to the top. 42.70. Brand new leader for Great Britain. Jess Mendoza and ICAP. Horse, a real testament to her, not just as a rider, but as a horsewoman as well. And that was fast.
Yeah. More than 2 seconds.
Yeah, that's going to put a bit of pressure on.
Yep.
But it's not over.
3 more to go.
3 more.
En la pista tenemos de México, Nicolás Pizarro.
Here's Nicolas Pizarro. He led the way here. He was out in front about a minute ago. And then Jessica Mendoza came in, has pushed him off the top of the leaderboards. And now he's going to try and push her off the top of the leaderboards. Plenty of love coming in for Jess on YouTube. Sunrider says, well done. Dame Rivermore says, woohoo. Living and Thriving says, nice. Denise the Horse says, very good time. It's Me Zella says, yes. Piper says, let's go Jess. But
Too many Jess fans.
So many Jess fans.
So many Jess fans.
I'm sure Nico's got some fans as well, though. He's such a great ambassador for the sport here in Mexico. He's not quite as cool. He is. Ooh. He's in touch. He's 0.3 of a second faster.
Oh, God.
And he's fast into this Oxer. I think he was... but it's gone. And that's where that pressure comes. You know, Jess really added the pressure on. He knew he had to take the risks today. 41.82. He caught the time. He smashed the time.
Yeah.
But he has that rail. Another really nice horse. As we said earlier, Nicolas Pizarro has been doing some great things. He's the highest in the world rankings he's ever been. He's the highest in the world rankings a Mexican rider has ever been.
Yes, he's making history.
Making history, that's what he's doing. And money.
Also.
Also. But he's a great rider, and he's always fantastic because he's so competitive. But let's get Martina Franco
I
underway.
think she's gonna leave. She's gonna give it all. She's going for it.
I think her trainers probably said stick to your plan and don't try and catch Jess. If I was working with her, that would be the advice I would say, because you know she's really becoming competitive at this level, but newer at this level than someone like Jess Mendoza. And you never want to kind of push your horse faster than, you know, and then end up getting into bother.
Oh. No.
But you know, you only get the experience and the mileage riding like this when you're in competition. And she's a super young talent. She's going to be on the Mexican teams for sure. But again, it just comes down to that little bit of experience under pressure.
Yeah.
Finishes up on 8 today, 47.54. And of course she'll be a little bit disappointed and frustrated after that jump off. But I think there's also going to be a focus on how well she competed in the first round. I think she might have just bashed her nose a little bit over one of the fences there. We just caught it on the horse's neck or something.
No, yeah.
Just like that. But yeah, so I hope there's still a focus on how well she rode in the first round.
Well, last one.
Last one. And we've already talked about this guy and how fast he is. Bernardo Navali and Fantasia last to go. Let's find out how the final chapter is going to unfold. Julie Liberty's talking about the last rider saying she looks so sad. I think she's a bit frustrated, but I think she was actually thinking, ouch, my nose is really sore, I think is the facial expression you saw there. Well, this horse can eat up the ground for sure. Whoa, whoa. He's careful as well. What a clever horse to get out of that. Jess might have to be biting her nails watching this. He is super fast. Whoa. And he's lucky.
Yeah.
He's faster. These fences stay up. He's going to catch Jess.
Ah!
That your run?
Yep. Puebla Oxer once again.
And look at the time, 40.42. Now, interestingly for him, and it's so easy to say when you're sitting here, but he could have taken a little check into that Oxer and still been faster. You know, he had the time, but it's very difficult when you're out there to know precisely where you are in terms of the clock. But, well, what an exciting end to the competition. He was right on our heels there, and he lost his stirrup over that fence and still managed to keep on going. a great competition and what a great win. It goes to Great Britain. Jessica Mendoza, ICAP CLZ, making her debut here in Puebla. First time she's been to the event. I know she's had a great time. She jumped well in the World Cup, and now she takes this meter 50 competition on the closing day. So congratulations once again there to Jessica Mendoza, taking that victory today, winning time of 42.70. An exciting end there, Anna.
Yeah. Jessica's, now we know the podium. Jessica first, 42.70. Nicolas Pizarro, 45.11. Manuel Gonzalez, 45.20.
Yeah, but a great win there for Jess, and congratulations to all those athletes that did qualify for the jump off. We saw a few twists and turns and lead changes. But yeah, it was a very, very exciting one.
Yeah, and well, I'm very glad I could join you.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. Hope to see you next year.
Yeah, fingers
or
crossed.
Earlier.
Earlier somewhere.
Or earlier somewhere. And I'm going to have to leave because I have to go to the prize ceremony. But
okay, well,
thank
enjoy
you
it.
very much.
Thank you for joining me and keeping me right with those Mexican names.
Of course. And the translation.
And the translations.
You're getting better with your Spanish.
Sí.
Sí.
So all I've learned.
Well,
well, we are getting ready for that prize-giving ceremony here in Puebla. It's the final day of competition, and a lot of competition here. 3 different rings that run pretty much all day long across the national and the international divisions. Once again, a huge, huge thank you to everyone who has been watching and getting involved with the conversation on the FEI YouTube channel, on Facebook. It's always great, you know, to have your company and to have you involved. Don't forget, you can also check me out on Instagram. Just search for Adam Cromarty on there. It'd be great, you know, to have you there as well. And then you'll know when we're popping up next on YouTube, on Facebook, and in other places as well. You just never know. But yeah, huge thank you to everyone who's been getting involved. Great competition. For a final time, congratulations there to Jess Mendoza. And for me, Adam Cromarty, alongside Ana Pereiro, we'll hand it over to the ring announcer here for the prize-giving ceremony. And we'll see you back here in Puebla very, very soon.
Y nos acompañan en la premiación el señor Eric Walton, gerente de marca de Bonjis México, el representante de la Federación Ecuestre Internacional, Jorge AROS, y los señores Carlos y Jorge Nasser, presidentes de Quintas Ecuestres.
This is the moment you've waited for. You've been searching in the dark, your sweat soaking through the floor. And buried in your bones, there's an ache that you can't ignore. Taking your breath, stealing your mind, and all that was real is left behind. Don't fight it, it's coming for you, running at you. It's only this moment, don't care what can gather. Your fever dream, can't you see, getting closer. Just surrender, cause you feel the feeling taking over. It's fire, it's freedom, it's flooding over. It's a picture in the paper in your blood devotion. There's something breaking at the brick of every wall. It's holding all that you know. So tell me, do you want to go? Where it's carried on a colored lights, where the runaways are running at night. Impossible comes true, it's taking over you.
Vamos a proceder a la premiación de esta 150 Open Class del CSI4. El quinto lugar se lo lleva Chile, Bernardo Navellán, que montó a Fantasía. El cuarto lugar de Gran Bretaña, Jessica Mendoza, que montó a Chuck Bass. Fourth place from Great Britain, Jessica Mendoza por Chuck Bass. Nos vamos al podium. Tercer lugar de México, Manuel González Dufrán, que montó a Martialis. Y le vamos a pedir al caballerango de Martialis se acerque para que Manuel pase al podium. Segundo lugar de México, Nicolás Pizarro Suárez, que montó a Mamacita. Y también le vamos a pedir al caballerango de Mamacita se acerque, por favor. Y la ganadora de la prueba estelar del día de hoy, de esta 150 Open Class del CSI4 4 estrellas de Gran Bretaña, Jessica Mendoza, montando a ICAP CI7. And we're going to ask the groom to help us out so that Jessica can dismount and go to the winner's podium. Aquí están nuestros ganadores, Jessica Mendoza, Nicolás Pizarro Suárez y Manuel González Dufrán. Vamos a pedir al público se ponga de pie para escuchar el himno nacional de Gran Bretaña en honor a nuestra ganadora. Gracias, thank you. Y les entregan ahora los trofeos que los acreditan como los ganadores de esta 150 Open Class. Primero, segundo y tercer lugar se llevan un premio, un regalo especial de Grupo Costeño. los 5 primeros de esta 150 Open Class, un regalo especial de GNP. Tenemos la foto para la prensa, esta foto del recuerdo, para proceder a entregarle a nuestra ganadora la botella de Maestro Dobel para que brinde con sus compañeros. ¡Salud! ¿Un poquito más? No. Y bien, le vamos a pedir a Jessica, a Nicolás y a Manuel pasen a montarse para que Jessica encabece la vuelta a la victoria. Le agradecemos al señor Erwin Walton, gerente de marca de Longines México, al representante de la Federación Ecuestre Internacional, Jorge AROS, y a los presidentes de Quintas Ecuestres, señor Carlos Agenbeck y Jorge Nasser, que nos hayan hecho el honor de premiar esta prueba. Agradecemos al público que nos acompañó, a todos los jinetes, a la prensa, gracias. Solo espero que Jessica se monte. Jessica, we're waiting for you for the victory gala. Jessica, are you ready? Are you ready? Ready, let's go. Como decimos en México, Jessica, vámonos.
Esta es mi tierra bendita, que tantas joyas encierra, que chula es Puebla, qué linda, que chula es Puebla, que chula es Puebla, qué linda, que chula es Puebla. Puebla tacita de plata, cuando no piso tu suelo.
Aquí vienen nuestros ganadores. Jessica Mendoza, Nicolás Pizarro Suárez, Manuel González Dufrán y Bernardo Navellán. Jessica, you alone, come over here. Come over here, that's the song for you, winner of this 150 open class. Jessica Mendoza.